During the Mousesports ENCE game at EPL, there was a lot of grenades used which I had actually not seen before. So here's one of them showing up right here. So this is actually a double flash set thrown by Snappy, which is used to push middle. From behind Rops, we can actually see he gets completely flashed by the actual second flash that comes through, not the first. The player throwing the flashbangs is Snappy, of course, the in-game leader of the squad. So the first flash, he actually lines up with the floor with the shadow, and then aims at the second shadow there on the floor. He then jumps up and actually lines it up with the girder to line it through the actual window. Doto is one of the two players that uses the flashbang, so we're just going to show what they do in terms of their movements, make sure they do not get blinded by this. So you do a slight turnaround as you're pushing through, just to make sure the second one doesn't get you. And we're actually going to see from Allu's point of view, the other player who pushes through, what he does differently on the first flashbang. So you do wait a second or so before peeking, just to dodge it. Just to make sure we see everything fully, we're actually going to show Rops' point of view as well. And as I mentioned, he doesn't actually get flashed by the first one due to actually his POV, but the second one gets him completely. As well as ENCE throwing in some good grenades, Mousesports did the same. They had this nice one-way smoke used on the actual stairs at B site, as well as that they had some really nice HEs as well as Molotovs used. This set of utility made it very difficult for Doto to actually protect the bomb site, but even despite that, he was able to get a kill. Here is another POV showing from above the T side players going into the bomb site. So BYMAS is the player in question when it comes to actually lining up the smoke, and I'll be honest, this round did start as a bit of an awful utility round, as obviously he throws the flashbang, gets completely blinded by himself, and we do actually see a few seconds later on that Acor does nearly kill himself with the grenade as he tries to do a jump throw with it. This is BYMAS' lineup for the HE as shown in the top left, that is where it lands. And then BYMAS goes to line up his smoke, which is the one we see land at the top of the stairs, although it's actually from the underneath, using it therefore as a little one-way. It lets the T players get a bit further up the stairs before they actually begin their attack, and it allows them to essentially pounce on the defense before the grenades are even landing fully. Dexter was a part of the gang as well, and he actually throws another HE similar to BYMAS' one, as well as a nice Molotov. So of course, as an in-game leader, he did do the nice little flashbang to start off to make sure they did get the peak advantage. So the HE lineup that he's actually going to go for is pretty straightforward. You just aim at the bottom of the actual concrete there and then jump through. And then in terms of the Molotov, he does decide to switch, but I will say this is not a perfect Molotov lineup. As you can see from the top left, it doesn't cover the entire area behind the pillars. Now of course Acor will be shown as well. He gets the opening kill and actually gets legged in the process, which is why he's so, I wouldn't say timid, but he is very aware of his low HP and tries to make sure he doesn't get grenaded. And if anything, he actually grenades himself more than the opposition grenades him. You can clearly see actually he is trying to nade towards that default boxes area, or at least to the right hand side when you're pushing into the site near the ACs. After his failed grenade, he does back up a bit just in case they were going to grenade him. As well as that, he actually grabs the bomb to get ready for this 3-man take. Upon arriving back with his team, he actually will line up his Molotov as well as a flashbang. The Molotov landing will be shown in the top left. This one lands behind the default boxes. The lineups are pretty easy, they're just actually using the markings on the actual girder. And from there you should have a nice take.